Okay, let's try this again and see if people can hear me this time. Good evening, everybody, or afternoon, morning, whatever time of day it is for you. My name is Gambit017, and I am privileged to be on the hosting desk for this wonderful run of Bugsnax by Conception SR. How are we doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited to be able to run this game in maybe a couple different ways for y'all. So I'm excited.
That's right. We've got the no major skips run that you're going to show off here, and we do still have an incentive for a 80% run. I believe it needs $20 more to meet that incentive. We still got a little bit of time to get there, but hopefully we can get there because I really want to see that. That sounds so much fun. But I want to let you take it away and show off this beautiful game.
Yes, absolutely. All right, I'm very excited. So yeah, this is Bugsnax. We'll get a little bit more into the lore and everything behind it when we get into the run. But first, to start the game, we also did have a bid war for the color of our Grumpus, which if I remember, I believe green was in the lead. I just wanted to make sure it didn't get snagged before the end.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can check.
Sure.
Yes, green is the winner.
All right, so we will be running green. Okay, so I'm going to start the new game here. Time starts a little bit as the scenes load in, so not from the new game select. It's actually a few seconds after, so I'll try and time it out as best as I can. 3, 2, 1, go. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, so welcome to Bugsnax. So if you're unfamiliar, this is a game that is developed by a indie studio called Young Horses. You might have heard of another title that they've done, which is called Octodad. But this is, in some ways, a little less wacky, and in some ways more wacky. But basically, we are a Grumpus, which is a furry humanoid type creature. And we are visiting this island. It's called Snacktooth Island because we are a journalist who has been called here to interview some people who live on this island and to learn about Bugsnax, which are exactly what they sound like. They are bugs and they are snacks, and we're gonna get to see one. We're gonna get to see some here in just a few seconds. Right here, that's a Strabby. This is Filbo, by the way. He is one of the inhabitants of Snacktooth Island. He's the de facto mayor at this point. But first we gotta do some quests here. So we're gonna catch that Strabby, feed it to Filbo. With some clever mashing, we can get through it rather quickly as opposed to having to wait for him to digest and everything. We're gonna catch this Strabby as well. We're gonna hop up here. We're gonna wait for that Strabby to pass by. We're gonna throw a trap. Oh, that was weird. It knocked me off the edge for whatever reason. So we're just gonna, darn. Okay, so a lot just happened there that will probably look pretty confusing, but it's okay. Let's see if I can make that. Good. All right, great. So we're fine. So what happened there? For some reason, the game knocked me off the edge of the cliff there, so I wasn't able to close the trap. But there's also another bug snack here that's called the Lolive. So it's a flying olive. And whenever it sees a trap, it will try to steal the trap. So not only did I miss the capture of that second Strabby, or third Strabby there rather, but the Lolive then took my trap, so I had to destroy it before it ran off with it all the way. But yes, so this category, no major skips. It's a very fun category. It's basically playing the game as intended. It's doing all of the main quests without getting into any loading zones early, because this game is very broken, like we kind of said up top. So for example, this estimate is 1 hour 20. I should be able to get that comfortably, and the any percent is my estimate is 20 minutes. Also should be able to get that very comfortably. So we shave off a lot of time with glitches and skips in the 80% category. But the no major skip category is great because we get to show off a lot more of the game, which is really cool. This is the second area, and this is Wambus. He's a farmer type who he farms sauce. And this is the area is called Garden Grove, which coincidentally enough, regardless of glitch categories or glitchless categories or no major skip categories rather, this area is always the same because you cannot get out of this into a loading zone early here. All right, let's see if this is gonna be really tight. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Just needed to focus. Whew. Okay, great. We still made that cycle wildly. Okay, so a lot just happened there. Let me try and break this down for you. So we did a cool, oh, I missed that one too, jeez. Okay, we did a cool speedrunning trick where we put our trap in a very specific location, and then we actually jumped on top of it and to shove it through the floor, which was able to help me capture a fryder that lives on the roof of that little section there. So there we go. I also flung some ketchup over the side, specifically at a shishka bug and then at a tree. The shishka bug is so that one of the bungers will charge the shishka bug and stun it so I could capture it easier. And then the ketchup at the tree was so that the two bungers will gather up at it together. And then they'll stun each other, so then I could capture a bunger. You're actually not meant to capture a bunger with a trap normally unless it's stunned. And it can only be stunned by another bunger in this area. So what we're meant to do is have it get stunned by, you know, running into each other and then capturing it with the net that Wambus gives us after we turn in the Shishka Bug quest. But we're going fast. We don't have time for that. Oop. Okay, so this is Beffica, another Grumpus that lives on the island. She's all about the drama. She loves, you know, finding out people's secrets and stuff like that. She gives us a kind of a tutorial on what our journal does and stuff like that. We can't unfortunately skip it. It's worth noting that I am running this on the PS5 version of the game, which there actually isn't too many differences in the category between the console version and the PC version, but the one notable exception really is text scrolling. So if you're doing PC, you can bind your text mashing button to your mouse wheel, which means you can obviously mash very fast, pretty much as fast as you can with little effort. But because I'm playing on the PS5, it's just straight mashing with my fingers, so it gets a little cumbersome, and it's ever so slightly slower because I cannot keep up with the speed of a mouse wheel, unfortunately. But we are now in Snacksburg, which is kind of like the centralized hub of the area. This is like where all the Grumpuses used to live. They've all actually gone their separate ways because let's get a little bit into the lore here. They've all gone their separate ways because their leader, whose name is Lizbert, she has disappeared, and when she was gone, the foundation of the whole town kind of fell apart. Everyone started fighting with each other, and they all just went their separate ways in different areas. So the majority of what we're going to be doing in the game is getting everybody to return back to Snacksburg and get reunited. We also need to find Lizbert because, like I said, she's missing. So we got to figure out what's going on with that too. All right, so we're gonna work on getting Beffica back here first. Her first quest means we have to scan a total of 6 Bugsnax in the area. Luckily for us, we caught 3 of them already, so it counts. We scan Sweetie Fly and then that white Strabby, and then we're gonna catch the Weenie Worm because that's gonna be important for another quest. And these treetop parkours are way more precise than they look, so I'm happy I was able to get those. And then yes, the next quest that Beffica has for us is to feed her favorite bug snack, which if you come in here, you see that it's a weenie worm. She puts it on the wall there for us. So not only does it count that we scanned the bug snack for her, but we are also able to catch it and then utilize it for the next quest. We run into her cave there and we sleep until midnight because her next quest has us, she wants to know what Wambus does between the times of 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Wambus being that farmer character. Again, she's very nosy and just likes to get in people's business. So apparently he talks to a cactus, so that's what we're gonna go tell Beffica. And then after we turn in that quest, Beffica will return, and that will be 3 Grumpuses back to the main hub. There will be a total of 12 that we have to get returned. So it's going pretty fast. Actually, I think it's 13 because I don't think it counts Filbo. So I think it's 12 plus Filbo technically, even though the number on the game says 12. But now that we've got Beffica and we're in Snacksburg, we got access to a few more areas here. Namely, we're going to head on over to Simmering Springs here, which is a beautiful beach area. We're going to meet a number of other Grumpuses here. Namely, first we're going to meet Floofty. But they are not going to come into play here until significantly farther into the game. But we do have a little dialogue sequence with them where we learn that we can actually target specific limbs with the bug snacks that we feed the Grumpuses, which will be very important for later. because some quests you have to specifically put a Bugsnax in a specific, you know, location on their body. For example, this is Gramble on the right and Wiggle on the left. Wiggle is all about fame. She loves singing. She wants to be famous. Gramble is kind of a Bugsnax pacifist. So he does not eat Bugsnax. He opens up kind of like a Bugsnax sanctuary. So that just to kind of give you an idea of their personalities. We'll see here shortly. Wiggle has a quest that she wants her hair to look like a pineapple. So we will be doing that quest as well because we got to get them to return. It's all very important stuff. Master this stuff. Also worth noting, so there are multiple kinds of tools in this game that we use for different things, you know, trapping or capturing, other words. So first we had the straight up snack trap, which we all saw, which is just the big thing that you open and then close when a Bugsnax is in the vicinity. This is our second tool here, which is the buggy ball, which rolls around. It'll have a multitude of uses here. The game wants us to lead it through a maze. However, if you just target the end of the maze like I just did there, the buggy ball will do it on its own while we can go do other stuff, which is pretty cool. So we are going to run over here. We grabbed some chocolate earlier because we need it for some captures here. We're going to get that Grapesquito, namely. And then we're actually going to shoot this Pinantula with some chocolate as well. And we're going to wait for this Crapple to come over here and grab this Pinantula. And then when it does so, to yank it out of the sand, we'll be able to capture it. And those are two specific Bugsnax we'll need to accomplish some quests here. I'm going to get as close as I can. There we go. And now the buggy ball has actually completed the course. We're going to let it come here on its own as well while we finish up a quest with Wiggle here. All right, so first we gotta feed her the pineapple for her head. Luckily it defaults to the head there, so it's not a lot of mashing or anything. And then she wants a Grapesquito as well, which we also already captured. She doesn't care where that goes, so that's great. Great. So now the buggy ball is gonna come through here, and then Peel Bug is gonna come out the other side. Great. And then we're gonna use the buggy ball for something else here. We're actually going to place it here and then shoot it with chocolate. And we're going to lure these Queebles. There's one there, and we're going to lure one more, and we have to specifically lure them and not capture them, which is unfortunately annoying because it's specifically for a quest to get Gramble to return. So they can be relatively annoying because they can get stuck on things and all that, but looks like they're cooperating mainly. Yep. All right, once they're up here, it's smooth sailing. They can run into bushes and all that, and it's fine. And we are going to run over to Gramble. We just did kind of a lot all at once. All right, so while Gramble's walking back here, we're actually going to sleep until noon. I'll explain why in a little bit. There we go. Sorry, had to focus on turning in all these quests. Well, come on, let me out. All right, so that all went pretty well. Can't complain too much. So yeah, we had one of the quests for Gramble is that he wants the Queebles to join him, but you can't just capture them and turn them into him. You have to lure them there because again, he's humane. He doesn't want to capture anything. The reason why we also slept until noon here is because typically what would happen is that when we finish Gramble's quest, it would be nighttime. And that means everyone is asleep. We would have to go find Filbo and wake him up, and the animation to wake up Filbo, or anybody for that matter, is about 5 seconds because they have to like take their time, get out of bed. It takes quite a bit of time. So we changed the day because we have to wait for Gramble to walk over there anyway before we can turn in the next quest. So we might as well change the time while we're waiting. And then we got Gramble to return, but we have not got Wiggle to return yet because Wiggle has one more quest that we could not complete because we don't have the area unlocked yet, which is that she needs 2 pop ticks, which come from another area called Scorch Gorge, which is through that way. We'll be able to do it right after this. That becomes a pattern in the early game here, which is that there will be 2 Grumpuses in an area. One you can complete entirely within the area, and the other you'll have to come back and finish. So that becomes, like I said, quite a pattern. You're going to see that a few times. But we got Gramble back. which means we have four back so far. And then every time we get 3 more back, the game puts us in what is called like a celebration or a party, as I like to refer to it as. This one is relatively short, which is good, but unfortunately, more or less, whenever we do these parties, they are basically glorified cutscenes. They're really long, and they just like give you a lot of lore and exposition, which is really interesting from a casual perspective. However, it makes it relatively slow for a speedrun. So this one is about done, luckily. So next time one rolls around, we will we'll have some time for donations. Here we find out that we cannot eat Bugsnax. They don't agree with us. They make us sick, which is good, as you'll find out later. But I won't get into it too much now. So that's the first party done. Like I said, relatively short, not too much of an issue. Now we're going to go over to Scorched Gorge, which has some fun tech to show off. So great. We are going to throw the the trap here, and we're going to place it specifically in between these 2 kernels. The Scorpeno is going to light my trap on fire because it hates traps, and we're also going to light ourselves on fire because it makes us run faster. The reason why we have to light that stuff on fire is because we need those pop ticks to pop. You can't catch pop ticks if they're in seed form. They have to be in popcorn form, so we have to get them to pop. You're just going to hit that. Okay, cool. So I will come back and grab those later, but just remember that they're there. I'm not gonna make that cycle. Let's place it up here. Now we're meant to like launch our trap up there using another tool we're about to get in a few minutes, but with these 2 cheese poofs that we need to capture for a quest, we can actually cheese them a little bit, if you will, and like throw them from advantageous positions in order to capture them without having to launch a trap. We get that Ribblepede up there by just placing a trap near it, which startles it. And then we run over here. We meet Cromdo, who is kind of like the used car salesman of Grumpus's. He's like a shopkeep, and he's kind of like, you know, has questionable business tactics and stuff like that. So yeah, he's that kind of character. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so we have to. This is the launcher that I was alluding to before. Which is called the lunch pad, which now another tool that opens up a lot of use. For example, we're going to catch this sweet fryder by launching it and capturing it from a distance. We're also going to get the attention of this Spuddy here. Not that way, not that way. That's the worst. Absolutely the worst. Come back this way. Oh no, too much. No. I really need you to come this way, please. No, come back this way. Please follow me this way. Boy, this ended up being terrible, unfortunately. We need the Spuddy to unlock this door here. That should be fine, yeah. Ooh, that did not go well, but that's fine. All right, we capture a shy weenie worm, which is a variant of the weenie worm hot dog thing that we captured before, as you might be able to tell. Don't hit my trap, please. Thank you for ruining this. Now it's gonna ruin my life in 2 different ways, which you love. All right, great. I capture that before it gets lit on fire. Get out of my way, Spuddy. All right, so we captured a weenie worm, which we'll need for a quest here in a second. We're gonna feed the 3 cheese poofs that we've got so far to Cromdo, because that's one of his quests. We're also gonna feed the sweet fryder that we captured earlier, which is a variant of the fryder we captured in the beginning, to finish this quest. But unfortunately, we cannot finish up entirely with Cromdo. He is requesting a bug snack we don't have access to yet. But we're gonna grab this rock. We need to grab a couple more of those Ribblepedes that we grabbed earlier. We're gonna just very gently toss a rock there to disturb the Ribblepede. Talk to the other Grumpus here, Triffany, who's gonna tell us some info. But while she's walking over where we can finish her next conversation, we will grab the 3rd and final Ribblepede, because that's what she wants. She wants Ribblepedes. All right. All right, so now Triffany is going to want to explore that cave we unlocked over there, but we need to wait for her to walk there anyway. So while we're waiting, we're actually going to run over to these pop ticks and try and capture them. Got them both. No, I didn't. I got one, but that's fine. I thought I got them both. That would have been incredible, but that's fine. One is still fine. Usually, so while she's walking over here, we capture one, and then she has to walk back, so we'll capture the second one. That's usually how it works. All right. And we have to capture them really, really quick like that, because if you remember, that Scorpiano above hates traps. So he will light our trap on fire if we don't pick it up quickly.
Did you find? But if we, I keep, you gotta,
All right, pretty good Triffany, can't complain. Fun fact, so a lot of times we'll be too far away from the doorway to make it worth walking back. So what we'll do is we'll wait for the autosave to trigger, and then we'll reload the checkpoint. And when you do that, it automatically loads back to the door you entered the area from. So we will often utilize that to get immediately back to the door, as opposed to having to walk all the way back, because it's a little bit faster, even in an RTA situation like this is. Now that we got the pop ticks too, so we got Triffany to come back. Now that we have the pop ticks, we can get Wiggle to come back. So we're gonna go talk to Wiggle. Turn in those 2 pop ticks. And now she's gonna come back. Same thing here. We're gonna wait for the autosave to trigger, reload the checkpoint. So now that the both of them are coming back, it's already time for party number 2, if you can believe it. We're skating right through this. We're gonna go talk to Philbo. He's gonna get party number 2 started. Unfortunately for us, party number 2 is by far the longest. And it has the least amount to do. It's basically a long cutscene where they all like tell ghost stories around a fire, kind of get you all spooked up about what's going on behind the scenes here. So if we have any donations, incentives, plugs, anything we'd love to talk about the event, Gambit, now is a great time, because we have about 7 minutes with this cutscene. It's quite long, so.
I mean, you would think of partying in a game would be a good
Probably
thing.
just a wild
We're trying to go
animal.
fast.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a $20 donation, and I'm going to spell the name.
I too saw the thing.
mispronounce it. O-N-Y.
Talk about something else.
It
You
says
know,
SASE
the Desert
2021
Grumps,
hype.
they had some
Put that
rituals.
towards the 80%
take their
bonus
golden
incentive,
diamond
which
and
is now
seal it
met.
and seal
Yeah.
At the end of this, which we're very excited about.
Where the dead
Yes, let's go. You will not be disappointed. As like I said, this is a no major skips category, which is basically glitchless. We do a few little tiny skips, but nothing major. You can't wait to show you guys just how broken the game is. Thank you so much for meeting that incentive.
Is they had a rash of vanishing corpses.
Yeah, that's going to complete all
Long
our
as they were
incentives for
exposed,
today. We still do have incentives up
even if they
for
buried him in the
two
sand,
Resident Evil, as
Roddy
well as
wouldn't
some
be there the next day.
bid wars for Octopath
Though
Traveler,
some of the
Final
time
Fantasy
there'd be a
II,
little left. Just a
Fire
few
Emblem
bones.
Awakening, Ghost of Tsushima, and all of Titanfall, which is all runs that are coming up in the
I'm
next
getting a
days.
chill just thinking
And
about
I
it.
said we are currently at
Getting a chill
$310
because the fire's
we're
gone
trying
out.
to meet a goal of
Oh,
about
you're right.
2,000 today, or not
hey,
today, but
buddy,
for the marathon
would you mind
overall.
picking
So
up
it's
some
a long way
firewood?
to get to
It's
that
over by the
goal.
mill.
Again, your donations will support Organization for Autism Research, or is a national nonprofit organization formerly led by relatives of children,
Okay,
teens, and adults
where were
on
we?
the autism spectrum disorders.
Triffany,
Or to
you
mention
were saying
supply
something about
research,
the
challenges of autism,
zombies?
or does this by
No,
funding
no
research related to
zombies.
intervention and
Listen,
quality of life, providing
Spooky is the disappearing
evidence-based
stiffs
resources
maybe.
to help
That's just a
individuals,
story I
families,
read on a wall.
in the autism
We got
community.
nothing to fear from the dead.
I'm more worried.
Yes, absolutely. These donations are going towards such a wonderful cause. I'm really happy that we're raising money for or just a great system. So thank you so much for getting those donations in, helping meet all those incentives super fast. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we do get some sticks here. I carefully try to place them there. One time I was able, Wiggle will stand up during this cutscene at one point, and one time when she stood up, she had the sticks near her feet, and then they just all launched straight up in the air. I'm trying to see if I can replicate that. It doesn't do anything at all, just besides looking cool. But Yeah, this cutscene is pretty much nothing. I can turn my camera, but I can't move here until it gives me like a few things to do. Like I had to go run over there and grab that log and bring it back. Here in a second, you know, you might have just saw Philbo run off. He's gonna scream here in a second. We're gonna have to go check on Philbo and see what's up. Blah blah blah. So yeah, it's quite a long cutscene. But I will use this as an opportunity to say, if you have not played this game casually, even, please do. It's available on PS4, PS5, and PC, and it's relatively affordable. I think at most it's $30, and I've seen it go on sale relatively often. So play this game. It has wonderful characters, wonderful LGBTQIA plus representation. It's just really, and the story is really good. Obviously, we're not going to dive too much into it here during the speed run, but it's just like a really entertaining game. You won't be sorry if you purchase it, so I can't suggest it highly enough. And if you like it so much you want to learn how to speedrun it, like I said, the any percent category, for PC the world record is like 14.5 minutes loadless. For console it's about 16.5 minutes with loads, so it's really accessible, pretty quick run. So play this game, speedrun this game. We're always looking to grow the community, support that enough. Unfortunately she stood up and we didn't get the sticks launched, so I was hoping we would, but yeah, that's my Bugsnax plug. It's just a great game. I love it so much. I was lucky, so like I said, I'm playing on the PS5 version. I was lucky enough to get a PS5 at launch, so I got it the day it came out. And this game was free at that time, and I knew I was gonna play it because it's like one of the PS5 launch titles, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll definitely check it out, you know, and I'll see if I'll like it. But it just captured me right away. Like I just loved it. I loved the world, I loved the mechanics behind it, and you know, there's puzzle solving bits, there's 100 different Bugsnax to catch, there's legendary Bugsnax, which are like giant battles with Bugsnax where you have to wear them down until they're a catchable size and then you catch them. It's just so fun. It's just so fun. So definitely suggest everyone checking the game out. I'm gonna zoom in on this spot here because suddenly some wood is gonna appear after Wiggle's done singing. We're approaching the end of this party, but like I said, this is by far the slowest one and longest one. There's 2 more parties. There's 4 total, like I said. The other 2 parties at least have you do some stuff before there are long cutscenes, so you'll get to at least move around a little bit more. Look at this. Ready? Suddenly wood. Here we're actually about to be introduced to another Grumpus who are going to get to return after this party is over. But he, at least in my chat, fan favorite. I'll wait until you see him before I talk a little bit more about him. But yeah, it's a fan favorite Grumpus in my chat.
Or Floofty, just because you won't admit you're scared. Don't worry, Gramble. We'll go check it out.
If something goes wrong, sacrifice Philbo first.
All right, here we go. So we're gonna go run and check out what this disturbance was. Hopefully get some good parkour movement. There we go. So this is Chandlo, a fan favorite. He's kind of like, for lack of a better term, he's the himbo type, right? He's a jock, but he's also like very sensitive and very kind. And we'll meet his partner a little bit later on once we unlock that area, which is now actually unlocked, but we just can't access it right now because we're still in the party. But it's just yeah, everyone loves Chandlo. There's a lot to love there. But we're almost done with this cutscene, about 30 seconds left, finally. I will shout out too, like, another thing I really love about this game is the voice acting. Voice acting is incredible in this game. It has a lot of famous voices. For example, Philbo is voiced by Max Middleman, which you might have heard. He has voices in Persona 5. He's the voice of Saitama and One Punch Man. If you're a Critical Role fan, Gramble here is voiced by Sam Riegel. So if you're into Critical Role, you know, another fun voice actor shout out there. But now, finally done with party number 2, and we're heading into Sugar Pine Woods, which has a lot of fun tech that I really like to show off here. I'm going to do some of it first and then kind of explain it after, because it requires a little bit of focus. Oops, I did it wrong though. There we go. Please let me place my trap. Thank you. Boy, man, this was a mess, unfortunately. But we got everything we needed. It was just an absolute mess to get there. Boy. First, that was my fault. The first part was my fault. All right, there we go. Oops. All right, there we go. Jeez, all sorts of messes. So, okay, so let's break this down. So we did a lot there that was not intended. So what we do is we place the lunch trap in a very specific location there, and that is in the path of the cookie. Now, to catch the honeybee, what you're typically supposed to do is launch your trap up there and just capture them while they're in the air. But we need to catch the cookie too for a later on quest. So what we do instead is we launch the cookie at the honeybee, and since the honeybee is sticky, they stick to each other, which is great because we need to capture both anyway. And even better, we actually need to catch 2 honeybees. So when the cookie jumps up and attacks the honeybee, it actually aggravates the honeybees and they go to attack. So when they go to attack, they get lower and they get so low that they hit the ground and stun themselves. So we're able to grab a second one. So we are able to do that, and then we throw a trap up at the top of a rock to get a cinnasnail, and then we do some parkour across some rocks to capture a second cinnasnail. We're actually going to capture a third one here now as well, but first we need to get some basketballs back here. It's part of Chandler's quest, and then we're gonna get that third cinnasnail right here. While we're waiting, we're gonna grab that and feed him one of the cinnasnails. All right, while he's running back, we're gonna run the other way because we need to get another tool. You might notice we have a new tool here, the snack grappler, which lets us grab things from long distance, such as like throwing a trap and stuff like that. Oop. Oh, cool, I still got it. Nice. And then we run up there to get a second trap from this area, which is the tripwire. Oh, we're gonna feed 2 more cinnasnails, which will also be very useful pretty much right away. So we feed him all these cinnasnails. He wants some honeybees now. He's trying to just get bulked up to be super strong, so he's eating all these Bugsnax to get bulked up. All right, so Chandler's good to go back, but we got to convince Snorpy, his partner. Snorpy is kind of like the inverse to Chandler in a way because he's like an inventor of sorts. Come on, here we go. All right, so now we're gonna turn the teeth into cookies. That's a very specific one. You have to target the teeth. And then now we're gonna sleep till midnight because Snorpy also wants some char mallows, but char mallows only come out at night. So we're gonna sleep till night. We're gonna throw a tripwire here, and then we're actually gonna run over here. We're gonna use our chocolate sauce, and we're gonna shoot that popsicle with it. Now the tripwire stunned this one, so we're gonna grab that. And it also, we also had another interesting effect here as well. So we shot this popsicle with chocolate. The char mallows love chocolate, obviously. So it took a dive bomb on the popsicle, which extinguished the char mallow, making it easy for us to catch, which is great. We also need to catch the popsicle to finish up a quest with Cromdo. So luckily enough, the fire also extinguishes the popsicles, making them able to be caught as well. So that's great. And because the char mallow fell in the water from the tripwire, we were able to catch that one too. So all in all, it worked out pretty well. It's really fun routing. I really like the routing in this area that we get to do. All right, so we're gonna run back this way. This one, I'm not entirely sure if it's faster to reload or not. It's like right on the barrier. So most of the time I just run back, but sometimes I try to do the reload now. So we got Chandler and Snorpy to return there. So that was a 2-for-1 special, really good. And now we're gonna go turn in these popsicles so we get Cromdo to return as well. Some tricky parkour there. Get by faster. And we're going to cheese Cromdo a little bit because he has an extra dialogue sequence that we can actually skip if we're really fast with his sequence here. So first we got to get up to him though. And jump up here. He specifically wants bopsicles on his legs, so you have to be careful with your placement here. I've lost a run to accidentally putting a bopsicle in the wrong spot. All right, cool. We got it in time. Great. So what we do there, so we feed the bopsicles to finish his quest. And basically what that does is it unlocks the bridge for us, but the bridge then collapses anyway, because again, Cromdo's a shady businessman type. So it's not practical, but we get to skip that whole section basically of... Oops. I wedged myself. Oops. Yeah, so we skipped that whole section by doing a quick load. So like, no, not Gramble. Not Triffany. Let's see if we can get this one. No. Might not be able to get. I'll explain what I'm doing here in a second. No, okay, I'm not gonna be able to get it. That's fine. We're gonna get the ones we can. Great. Okay, so yeah, basically we turn them in and then run over to Cromdo's bed really quick, because again, we don't want it to be midnight, so we don't have to do that long wake up animation for Filbo. And while we do that, he's still running over to the bridge and watching it collapse. If we did that, all of that fast enough, we could do a quick load and skip the dialogue that Cromdo does afterwards, which saves us a bit of time. Now we're actually in party number 3, which we're investigating why it looks like somebody has like tried to break. There's mysteries afoot. Somebody's tried to break in. There's paw prints everywhere. All kinds of tools. People are starting to get suspicious as to what's going on. What we do in this party is we need to find 6 clues as to help determine maybe what's going on, and you can capture definitely 3 of them while this whole cutscene is going on. And if you're precise in your placement, you can get a 4th one as well, which is just behind Gramble here. But my placement was not good enough, unfortunately, so we're just gonna have the 3, which is fine because it only wastes like a second maybe. Really quick stuff.
We should sweep the perimeter. Keep watch in case
But yeah, there's it's the sign. There's a spade right here. There's several paw prints ones. There's actually one way over there as well. Great, we got all 6 clues. And the last one is the lock, which is not even accessible until after the cutscene anyway. And then now, so we get to do some fun stuff. We get to like scan some stuff. We get to find clues. But now, unfortunately, we are locked in another cutscene where we can't move. But I will mention, now if you count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 out of 12 have returned now. So we only need 3 more, and then we'll basically be very close to the end game. So we're really close, really close. So that's great.
Giant Bugsnax polite note on our door.
We also enter now into the section of the game that if you paid attention, so Simmering Springs is over there, that's the beach area. Then we had the desert area, the Scorched Gorge, and then we had the woods area over on the right. So there's actually no more, and then this is back where we came from. So there's no more areas to unlock from this hub world. However, there's still 3 more areas that we haven't seen in general. And they're actually areas off of areas, so it further expands beyond just this hub. I will mention as well one thing. This should be coming to console soon, but I believe it is already out on PC right now. But they're implementing a fast travel feature, which is going to save us a good chunk of time because we don't need to traverse through lands we've already been through to return to places. We'll be able to fast travel back to them, which will save us a good chunk of walking time. Like I said, I believe that is live on PC already, but it should be live on console soon. That'll definitely change up the route a little bit, which will be fun. Yeah, otherwise, yeah, this is party number 3, still a little long. Did we have any other plugs, donations, incentives, anything else to read, Gambit?
No new donations at the current moment.
We have each other.
Need to be plugged.
Maybe
just
if we
want to thank
try,
everyone for being here.
we could all add up to one of her.
Organization for Autism Research and supporting.
You're not wrong.
Supporting Autism Speed Event 2021.
So we're all staying in town then?
Yes, I definitely echo that sentiment. Thank you everyone who's supporting so far, donating, just being here, being in chat, hanging out. Such a great cause. Continue to support the marathon in any way that you can. And yeah, just enjoy the weekend. It's been great so far. Just a little bit at the start of the marathon, and I'm excited to see how the rest of the weekend goes.
Sizzling sands. But don't forget about Eggabell. If she's not with Liz,
they are talking a little bit about the 3 people that are still missing, which are Shelda, Floofty, which we already met, and then Eggabell, who Eggabell is actually Lizbert's partner as well. So we have yet to see her.
go get some sleep.
We're very carefully walking around Wambus and Triffany there, by the way, and that is because that's a cutscene that we have to trigger anyway, but I'm waiting to trigger it until after this coming section, and it'll make sense why in a little bit. But first we're going to head into Scorch Gorge here, which is an area we've already done. However, we are going to go into the area beyond. Like I mentioned, Cromdo unlocked a bridge for us, but then it collapsed. Lucky enough, we already had Chandlo return, and so he fixed the bridge for us, so we can actually cross the bridge into Sizzling Sands, which is a further extension of the desert area, and probably my least favorite in terms of tech because it has the most like RNG in it. So we're gonna hope things go well. That's what we're gonna hope. So we're gonna basically do all of the quests for Shelda in advance and then turn them in all at once. So first we're gonna launch this Bacantus into the lake. Then we're gonna run up here. We're gonna grab this egg and we're gonna actually throw it at the Bacantus here as well. That should break, right? Yeah, cool. I just wanted to make sure. We're gonna launch a second Bacantus because one of the quests is to break 2 Bacantuses. Wait. No, come back. Come back. There we go. That should be fine. All right, so now that they're extinguished, they will break, obviously. Wait, grab that. All right, we're gonna run over here. We're gonna throw this way, and we are actually gonna set up a launch pad here. That really worked out. I didn't expect the Bacantus to be there, but that worked out well for us because it's still gonna break, I think. Yeah, okay. Just needed to make sure it broke because it's part of the quest for it to break specifically, not just to extinguish it. All right, so then we have another a complicated quest here, where we have to lead a black Raspy through a maze here without getting attacked by other Bugsnax. So we have to be very careful here because these Enchiritos love to just give us trouble. So we have to be very cautious. But once we get to here, it's pretty good. We're pretty safe. Like we could scare the Raspy like that by having it run into the bush, but otherwise it's perfectly fine. All right, it should be coming here. Still following. Yep. We actually have to. The quest has us launch it up. We have to launch it up, get it through the maze safely. All right, so all relatively painless, and then the last thing we need to do is grab some cheese, and that's actually all of the quests for Shelda all at once. All right, so the first one, turn in the cheese. We got the cheese, great. We had to break 2 eggs, we did that. We had to break 2 Bacantuses, we did that. We had to lead the Raspy through the maze, we did that. And Shelda is complete. Relatively painless. Which is, oftentimes I can get trolled by a lot there, so I'm happy that went relatively well. And then we actually have a shortcut that we can take that leads us directly to the next area, so we don't have to go back to Snacksburg, back through another area to another area. These two, there's a secret passage that connects these two, which is really, really convenient. So Shelda's back, and now we're in Boiling Bay. We're going to lure this noodler. To this Bopsicle. Because we need to extinguish it to catch it, and we definitely need to catch it. So we're going to do that. We're going to run this way. Hop over the fire carefully. We're going to place this so that we can hopefully get a red Banopper here. We're going to actually also throw this here. So hopefully, so that catches on fire. please. Great. I really needed the binopper here. Wait, oh, and great. All right, that actually went really, really well. And we're actually gonna light ourselves on fire to get a little extra speed boost here for us. That's great. That actually went really well.
I love that fire running animation.
Yeah. It's exactly what you would think it would be, right? All right, there we go. I'll explain a little bit more about what we're doing after this. Just want to get through this with relative ease. There we go.
Can you this me? And now I.
All right. All right, that actually went pretty well. Can't complain. Okay, so there was a lot that just happened there. So we threw down a tripwire because the red binopper hops from tree to tree. So we needed it to be caught in our trap. The reason why I was a little nervous is because depending on the routing of the Bugsnax itself, sometimes that that bopsicle can really mess with us. And hit the trap away and then really throw off our game. Also, that we have to we threw a coconut into the fire to break it apart to turn it into a cocomite so that we could catch that. And the reason why that went really well is because while we were waiting for the red binopper, the popsicle, instead of messing with our trap, actually targeted the cocomites, so it stunned one and while we were getting the red binopper, so we were able to catch it relatively quickly, which is great. So relative that, that was pretty good RNG for us, where those two sections in particular can have some pretty nasty RNG depending. So it all worked out pretty well. So we got Shelda and Floofty to return. We still need one more. But before we do our last one, we're actually going to do some interviews. Like I said up top, we are a journalist who is here to talk to all these grumpuses about their experience on Snacktooth Island and about Bugsnax and stuff like that. However, not only to serve the plot line of us being a journalist, but they actually have important clues that we need to progress the story. We don't have to interview everybody, luckily. But we do have to interview a very particular few to get the exact clues that we need. So Wambus is the first one. And then the next one's going to be Gramble, because he's going to be right next to us. So he gives us a clue that we need. Gramble's going to be right here, so luckily. So now you see why I had to save that cutscene, because as soon as we exited the area, Wambus was right in front of us, so that was convenient. And luckily enough, we don't have to hit every dialogue option. We only have to hit the dialogue options that progress the little checklist in the top left. And you just kind of memorize with each grumpus, like what the fastest dialogue pattern is the best way to do it. And I usually do it by numbered of the numbers on the options is how I usually manage it. So for example, like Snorpy here, I know I need to hit his second option, his fifth option, and all of the bottom ones. That's how I kind of memorize it. Oops, I hit the fourth one though. So I hit an extra one there, that's fine. Alright, so that Snorpy's done. We actually only need to do one more interview, which is with Triffany. We're gonna run over this way. We're actually gonna hug on the right here, because if we go a little bit too far to the left, we'll actually trigger a cutscene that we don't need. All right, and then she's pretty simple. Again, this is all just mashing. All right, great. So she's going to give us a journal, which is locked. Luckily, one of the other clues we got was a key to unlock said journal. And then combined with the other clues that we got, oop, there we go. It should be pretty good. All right, so now we got all the clues we needed. The reason why we get the clues before we head to the last area is because we're able to accomplish more quests with the amount of clues that we got now. So it just saves us a little bit of time. So we head through the woods here, and you can see there's a big snowy mountain behind the woods. That's where we're headed. The game intends us for us to walk all the way around and take some launch pads, but we can actually just jump on some geometry there to make that a little bit faster. And then we head into Frosted Peak, which also has some fun tech, as it turns out. All right, so first, we're gonna equip that, and we're gonna grab some peanut butter, which is the sauce of this area. Oop, we missed it. Come on. All right, so this is gonna take a little bit longer than I would have liked, but that's fine. Wow. Jeez, that took way longer than I would have liked. But we got the Mount Soda, that's the important thing. But that was really, really slow, unfortunately. All right, this is Eggabell.
No, we just go in.
We just mashed through her dialogue options real quick, and she's actually running towards a door that's at the bottom of this area, but it takes her forever to get there. So we're going to accomplish a few things while we're waiting for her to run. We're going to grab this cookie, actually. So we're going to wait for it to run into our tripwire. Thank you. Our Chippy. This one's called Chippy. And then we're going to switch to our sauce slinger because we're going to grab this flying peanut butter and jelly sandwich, which we also need. And we can actually jump all the way down here. It still beat Eggabell to the door. So we were able to do that all while she's walking.
Okay. Well, there's some. I've almost. Oh my.
The reason why we need those specific Bugsnax is because we have a quest here where we have to. There's 6 totems that help unlock the door on the side here, and we Eggabell says, "Fine, you get half and I'll get half." So we grab 3 Bugsnax to get half of what the door needs, and those happen to be the 3 easiest and fastest to catch. So that's why we end up doing it that way. We reload the checkpoint there so we can get back to the door faster. And then we need to go get Filbo's help with unlocking the door because there are 3 panels that need to be accessed. And there was only 2 of us there between ourselves and Eggabell, so we need to go get Filbo's help. So we're going to run back to town here. Go get Filbo's help, and it'll actually warp us back to the peak, which is great.
Hello, Triffany. You do.
Great. And now we're in like a little bit of a slow walk section. For whatever reason, we can't run here. Fun fact, though, we can actually access our tools. I'm not going to show you that because I've seen a few times where people, because this is so slow, people start to get fidgety a little bit. So they'll access their tools and start slinging sauce just for fun or whatever. I one time saw somebody hit Filbo with sauce in the face here, or in the back of the head rather, and it stopped Filbo moving and he would not continue. So it soft locked the game. I've also seen people like fling sauce and then attract a Bugsnax, so then it charges Filbo off the edge or something like that. So you can mess with a lot of the sequence there if you get a little bit too antsy, so we don't want to do that. So.
It feels like its own category on its own. How many ways can you soft-lock yourself?
We need to stand here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so a fun soft lock % or something like that. Yeah.
This is it.
We will do another like slow walk in a very similar vein where we have to walk down the hill with them. But for whatever reason, you can't access your tools that time, so you can't soft lock the game at all. We thought we had the door figured out, but unfortunately, we don't have the door figured out. So we're gonna have to come back after Eggabell figures it out.
Thank you.
Which is fine. That is fine. In the meantime, of course, since that's all of the Grumpuses returned, we got one last party to do. So we're gonna go party it up real quick. We're gonna go party it up, which coincidentally will give Eggabell just enough time to figure out the door code. All right, so back to Snacksburg. We're gonna talk to Filbo, and you'll actually see the screen will tell us that this is the point of no return after we talk to Filbo to initiate this, because then we'll be entering like the end game sequence of the game of the game, basically. All right, so here we go, 4th party. All right, I'm gonna just do this and then I'll explain a little bit about what I'm doing. That should be good. Yep, perfect. So in this fourth party, we got everyone back, and basically what we need to do is we need to make this party exciting. So we got to get everybody to dance, and they all have their own like unique things to make them dance. For example, we're gonna get Shelda to dance here first, and all you have to do to get Shelda to dance is crack that orb over her head, and she just gets excited enough. Philbo will return automatically. Beffica will return if you're playing her song on the radio. So we change. Where'd the cup go? Where'd the cup go? Where'd the cup go? Okay. Oh wait, is that it? Yeah, there it is. So we change the radio to fit her song. Wambus needs a little liquid courage, so we get him a drink. And Gramble won't dance. Where's the other cup now? Jeez. Okay, there it is. Oops. There we go. Gramble won't dance because he's afraid that Wambus is mad at him because they don't really get along. But Wambus, once he's got his liquid courage, apologizes to Gramble, which makes him comfortable enough to dance. Wiggle needs some more liquid courage as well. Floofty doesn't think there's a point to dancing. Rhythmic gyration serves no purpose. But we're going to go talk to Triffany here, who is going to explain to them like the cultural significance of dancing, basically. And that'll be enough for Floofty and Triffany to go dancing. So that's the two of them. Then Snorpy is nervous because he doesn't know how Chandlo feels about him. So he's afraid to dance, but basically they have this long conversation where Chandlo says he loves Snorpy and they're both happy and in love together. So then they all agree to dance, and that's everybody. So yeah, this is actually a pretty fun party. And then we just meet Philbo up here. And that's it. It's actually just a long cutscene from this point forward.
We did it, buddy. We're all together again. Well, almost all of us.
But yeah, like I said, those other two parties, at least we have stuff to do up front. For now, we still do have another like 3-minute cutscene here. So if we have anything that has come up, Gambit, in terms of plugs, if we want to talk about some of our later on incentives or bid wars, or if we have any donations or anything like that, now's a great time. We got a few minutes here.
Right? So
our donations have come in. Just to remind everybody what we still have left on the schedule today. We're going to have a new Super Lucky Sale by Moose Pop, followed by our Sonic Block, which is Sonic Robo Blast 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic Coach 6. So definitely looking forward to the rest of those runs today. No new donation incentives for anything until tomorrow.
All right.
First donation
I know this looks bad,
for tomorrow
as
is
long as we keep calm.
For Titanfall 2, which is going to be Kill or Save the MRVA. Right now, Save does have a lead of $10, but plenty of time to change that. As our second run will go tomorrow. That's the next closest incentive.
To devour us all.
The Grandpanati aim to silence us for good.
All right, excellent. Yep, so we still have a little bit of cuts in here. You can see Shelda's freaking out. She's running around.
That's right.
To give you a little bit of idea of lore, what's happening here. So the island just incurred like a devastating earthquake that you could see kind of just trash the island. You can't see it here because this building is collapsing, but there's also a volcano in the distance that's looking like it's about to erupt. Things are starting to fall apart, and we don't really know why. We decide basically that we need to get in through that door that we were trying to get into to see if we can find Lisburg, because we got to get out of here. Like we got to go because things are happening. We don't really know what. So we're getting into like the end game here. So if you haven't played the game and you're starting to get a little bit spoiled, feel free to mute me or whatever. Visually, it won't be too telling as to what's going on, I don't think, because you won't have context, so it should be too telling. But yeah, we're starting to get a little bit into spoilery territory.
Have to stick together.
But yeah, so yeah, that's I didn't really talk about Shelda, Floofty, or Eggabell. Like I said before, Eggabell is Lizbert's partner, and she's like a medic. So you can see she has a little health pack on, so she's all about keeping everybody safe and healthy. Shelda is kind of like a false prophet kind of person. She like has all these prophecies that mostly don't come true. A good comparison to her is Professor Trelawney in Harry Potter, if anyone's familiar. Most of the time her stuff is not true, but every so often she'll get one right. And And then Floofty, they are a non-binary character who uses they them pronouns, and they are like an experimental scientist. So they're very interested in Bugsnax and their composition and how they react with grumpuses, and things like that. So she's very they are very experimental and stuff. And yeah, did we cover? Triffany, as you probably saw, she's like an archaeologist. We didn't talk about her too much. Snorpy is an engineer. Yeah, I think that about covers everybody. So yeah, we've got quite the cast of characters here. It's pretty fun stuff.
I want to know what's out there.
No worries, Beth.
We're about to see Cromdo get hit in the face with some sauce. Spoiler alert, so I'm just gonna zoom in on his face here. I always like showcasing that.
But what do we do when the
Basically, he's upset. He's like, what am I gonna eat if I don't eat Bugsnax? Wamba says, oh, you can eat my sauce. And he's like, that stuff's gross. And you'll see why that doesn't sit well.
The volcanoes and what have ya.
Simple. We find a way to get off the ground if the need arises.
Well, none of that matters
Ready?
if I starve to death. We got my sauce. No
He's not gonna chow on that nasty plant goop. Here we go. All right, now this cutscene is over, basically.
No more concerns? Great. Let's get to it then.
Gramble, darling.
All right, wonderful. So we're gonna head back up to the peak because Agabel has the door figured out now. We know the code. We're gonna get through it. We're gonna figure out what's going on in this island that's making it making it look like it's being destroyed and everything like that. We're gonna figure out ultimately what is happening.
You two gonna come back to town?
Oh, I don't know.
We're gonna.
Hey, do I got time for a quick donation?
You do.
I have a $10 donation from Young Ton Fish. It just says "Po Buddies Nerfic" with a heart.
Thank you so much, Young. That is going to make sense to y'all in just a few seconds, because that's going to be a line that comes out of Philbo's mouth here in a second.
Oh, do you need a break? How about water? Let me check your vitals.
Like I said, one last slow walking segment, and then we're going to get in through the door. I will say one thing that's interesting, because you are going to see this here in a little bit. So any percent, no major skips, 100%, whatever the category may be. Once you get through this door, by whatever means that may be, getting it open normally, or glitching through it, or whatever the case is. Once you get past this door, all of those runs are exactly the same from that point forward. And I always think that's pretty interesting. We're going to be entering an area that's called the Undersnacks, and what is interesting about it, so this game came out in November of last year, and it got to do a devs react video on IGN to the speedrun. The devs said that in this section, which basically has no skips that we know of, that there is a way to, there's another big skip that's coming up in this Undersnacks section that we have yet to find, and we still haven't found it. The only thing that we have found out so far is that if there is a way to get out of this area by glitching through the wall or the floor or something like that, the entirety of its surrounding area is a loading zone. So if we can somehow get through the floor of the walls, we can trigger the loading zone very early. However, that is difficult because we're very restricted as to what we can do here, because we don't have access to tools and we can't run. All we can do is walk and jump. It's literally all we can do. So it becomes difficult figuring out what it is that we can do to get through this section. But if you're a glitch hunter out there, or a strap finder, and you want to throw yourself out the wall 1,000 times to figure out a way to get through, we would be eternally grateful, because this would probably save like 2 minutes if I had to guess. So we wouldn't use it in no major skips, but in any percent on a run that's already really short, it would be even shorter. That's pretty cool, I think. Okay, so we're in the Undersnacks, and this is the Queen of Bugsnax. Again, we're getting into spoilery territory here. So again, if you don't want to be spoiled on the game, mute me for a second. But the Queen of Bugsnax is Lizbert. If you remember, Lizbert is been missing since the beginning. What had happened is she went missing because she had discovered that these Bugsnax, as cute and adorable as they are not as innocent as they seem. They actually are parasitic, and they have a desire to take over all life on this island and destroy it and make it their own. Lizbert has sacrificed herself to become the Queen of Bugsnax in order to keep them in control, but she has now lost control because there is just too many of them. So that is why the island is now collapsing, because she has lost control and the Bugsnax are starting to take over. We need to get off the island. So what Agabel decides to do there as she falls through the ground is she's going to sacrifice herself as well, so that she can be not only with her partner Lisbert, but also a second head on keeping the island stable for as long as they need for the rest of them to get off the island. So that is where we're going. All right, so we're through the undersnacks. We're gonna do some pretty cool movement, I think. Hopefully, if I am able to do it here, it's one of the hardest like parkour sections in this game. Not this. This is pretty easy. We just skip over the rock and go across. We don't need to talk to Philbo. Not important. But if we are able to do this, it saves like a second. So let's see if we can do it. We're gonna do some careful treetop parkour, very similar to what we did earlier. We got it. Nice. The reason why it's harder this time is because there's a lot less fence area. When I do the treetop parkour and the other time, I actually like let myself fall along the fence line to make sure I land on it, which is it's a lot easier to do when there's actual fence there. But we were able to do some treetop parkour. It saves about a second, maybe two, over falling down and crossing the bridge. So. And now we've entered what we call the gauntlet in the speedrunning community, at least. And this is a series of 6 challenges that come up. And we're going to be using all kinds of tools that we've been using all run, except they're now augmented differently. Instead of like capturing or trapping Bugsnax, they're used to help destroy Bugsnax. So for example, we have the snack trap here, but it's now become a snack chop, and it chops the Bugsnax instead of trapping them. All right, and we're able to get all but one there. And while we're waiting for that to clear, we actually start jumping down to the second challenge to save us some time. So with Shelda and Floofty here, we got our snack grappler, but it no longer grapples. It has a boxing glove on the end of it, so it's now more of a snack puncher. And instead of facing the snacks head on, we're actually going to run over to the side here and hit them from the side so we can get them all at once. Saves us a lot of time here. Ooh, there we go. Great. And then instead of waiting for them to jump out of the ground here, we're gonna shoot them preemptively. And instead of waiting for them to cross, we're gonna aim them directly at Shelda and Floofty. Because if they eat some of the snacks, it saves us a lot of time as opposed to exploding them and then destroying them all at once. So that's challenge 2. Challenge 3 is we're going to use the tripwire. Pretty much this one is actually as intended. I don't know, it's augmented somehow. It flies around, so that's one thing that's different. But it still trips the Bugsnax, but instead of just tripping them and stunning them, it trips them into being destroyed. So that's fun thing. This one is very unique because this is actually the one challenge here that you can't mess up in terms of speed. So even if I let all of these Bugsnax just come up and attack Chanlo and Snorpy, it's fine because they actually spawn on a cycle. So it doesn't matter if they are coming or not. It wouldn't waste any time. I just destroy them because it's more fun than just sitting here and waiting for nothing. The only thing you could do to lose time on this particular challenge is if you wait and delay on the very last wave, which we're obviously not going to do. Here's the last wave here. We're actually going to set the trap, and then once they start flying towards it, we're actually going to run and try and wedge ourselves into some of the environment here to just get us that much closer to the next challenge, which I don't think we're going to be able to do. We're going to pop out. Yep, that's fine. If you're very precise there, you can actually wedge yourself in between the 2 boards there, and you're just that much closer to this next challenge. This next one is barrels, and it's definitely the hardest of them by far. It requires a lot of precision and timing to do well. So if I could just have some quiet time here while I focus on it, and then I'll explain what I did after. Well, almost missed that one. Okay, so far so good. Perfect. That's literally the fastest you could do that. Okay, so yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. So yeah, that was perfect. It requires a lot of timing and precision there. The reason being, so it's actually not hard to do. Like casually, it's not difficult at all, because you don't have to target just like random areas. You can target the Bugsnax themselves, so it's not difficult to do. But if you want to do it as fast as possible, you actually aim to time it and place the barrel in a particular location that will destroy the entire wave all at once with one barrel, as opposed to targeting each Bugsnax individually. So I was able to time it and place the barrel precisely to destroy every wave at once. Are you kidding? Every wave at once. This is how we're gonna lose time. Did we get the second one? Nope. All right. That was a waste. And then the only exception is that last wave, which has 5 Bugsnax. You can't destroy all with one barrel, but you can destroy it with 2 if you destroy the middle 3 and then place a very precise barrel. Come on, it's really trolling me here. Place a very precise barrel on the last 2 as they're close to each other. So I was able to do that well. And this section is really easy because the spawns are the same every time. Obviously, we're using the buggy ball and it's just spiked now, so that it rolls over them. But for whatever reason, I was just a little too slow on the cycles, and I missed a lot of cycles, so it went slower than it needed to. But otherwise, it was fine. So that's challenge 5, and then the 6th and final challenge here is with Wambus and Triffany. We're going to be using our sauce slinger again. This time we're going to be using a special sauce that the Bugsnax really like. They like so much that when they charge at each other, they don't just stun each other, they blow each other up. So luckily for us as well, here in this challenge, it is the same spawns every time, so I know exactly where they're going to spawn, and I know where the fastest spots to put the sauce are in advance. So that's really, really good. All right, so first we're going to throw one right in the middle here. And actually basically in the same spot while that one is spawning, we're gonna throw one here and here. I'm gonna wait for these two to defeat each other. Throw another sauce there. There we go. That particular one can get a little bit glitched. That last one I threw before this cycle, it can actually get a little glitched, and they just like phase into each other instead of hitting each other. I don't know why, but that went about as perfectly as it can go. I'm gonna run up here, jump aboard, and we're gonna get on the boat to get out of here. Now there's a little, let's see. Yep, for some reason this happens sometimes, and it won't just like let you on the boat. You like kind of just hover around, which I think it wastes a little. I can't honestly tell if it wastes time or not, because you just don't turn around as fast. But I can't tell if the watermelon Bugsnax there is still in its cutscene cycle while you're figuring out how to get on the boat. But basically everyone escapes. I will mention it is actually possible for you to lose Grumpuses there. So if you don't do their side quests and then they eat so many Bugsnax that they entirely turn into a Bugsnax, they will be succumbed by Bugsnax and they won't make it to the ship. So you can have like a bad ending. But luckily enough for us, it's actually faster to do it the good ending, which I think is unusual. Usually the bad ending is faster for things. Time is actually coming up very soon. We're just gonna run over here, run to do a last conversation with Filbo, and then we'll see our journalist boss, which we would have seen in an opening cutscene, but we did skip the opening cutscene. So we're gonna jump up here into the last cutscene. So time is coming up, so get ready on time in about 10 seconds or so ish. And time. Very good. That was an excellent run. I will say, I didn't want to say anything during the run, but at times I was actually ahead of world record. So I was thinking maybe I world record, but I missed it by 14.6 seconds. So yeah, this was only 14 and a half seconds off of world record. So this run was really, really good. So I'm really happy with it. Yeah, I appreciate y'all sticking around for the no major skips. We can actually hop right into the any percent run. I don't need anything else for setup if we want to just like get the timer and stuff ready. And then you can just let me know. I'll stick with green as well, so we can still do the green Bugsnax.
Yep. Let's give us just a second to reset the time.
Yep. While they're doing that, I'll say, yeah, like I said at the beginning, please play this game. It's incredible. That was the no major skips category, which is basically like no loading zones early, playing the game as more or less intended. We're now going to see the any percent category, which is super broken, and we don't really do much of any quest at all. So it's going to be pretty fun. You'll get to see two different sides of that and see if this is a game you might want to pick up or at least play casually. So, but yeah, just
while we set up, we did have another $20 anonymous donation, so thank you so much. We're currently sitting at $340. We are about $63 from our first milestone, which was SASE 2019's 403. So looking to try to see if we can at least beat that by the end of the day. So thank you so much for your donations.
Yes, thank you very, very much for all the donations, all the support that we've gotten so far for OR. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I think whenever you are ready with the 80% run, just count it out, let us know.
All right, sounds good. I'm gonna just open up my own splits in case, you never know. I was close enough to world record that time. Maybe I will be on this one too. But this one is a lot more tight. So, okay, so we'll stick with green. Same timing starts on the load screen. So I'll count you down. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so any percent. I'm going to kind of I'm going to talk about the skips that we do, and I'll kind of give you an idea in comparison to the run that we just did where we are when we do the skips. So first the first thing we do is we have an intro skip. We did it a little bit already where we walked on an invisible barrier to across the bridge, but we're going to further that skip by not doing any of Philbo's quests at all. Oops, we missed that one. That's fine. So we're going to jump up here. We got a nice little backup for this. So we're going to jump on this invisible barrier still and cross over, just like we did in no major skips. All that does is skip an opening cutscene that we don't need to see. But before, we talked to Philbo, and we did all this quest where we caught the Strabbies and the Roodle and stuff like that. We're not going to do any of that. We're going to run up here, jump on this rock. We're going to jump over here, and scale across the top of the rocks, and there we go. We skip all of that intro stuff with Philbo. Saves probably about a minute and change, I would say. So that's a notable skip. Like I mentioned at the top, Garden Grove is exactly the same. It's the same in every category. You can't do it any faster. So we're going to do Garden Grove just the same as we did in the No Major Skips run, hopefully a little bit better, though it was pretty close. We did miss one Shishka bug, but we were able to get the really fast fryder, so hopefully we can do it again here. So I'm just gonna focus on hopefully doing this fast. Let's see. So we're gonna do the same thing, sling some ketchup here. All right, try to capture the fryder through the floor again. Not gonna work, that's fine. Not gonna miss the cycle though. Definitely not. And actually, so the other way we used to capture the fryder is just like this. So you actually get to see both sides, which is kind of cool, where we just throw some ketchup there and wait for the fryder to be attracted to it, the old-fashioned way, as it were. And there we go. We got the Shishka bug that time. So we didn't get fast fryder, but we got the Shishka bug, so that's good. Got to see two different sides of how annoying this could be sometimes. All right, so we turn in the two Shishka bugs, and then the bunger. Worth noting as well, so like the way we speed up that process as well is if you hammer the use button after it skips the, usually there's a long animation where their limb transforms, and then they look at their limb and see the new transform limb. But if you mash the use button, which in PlayStation 5 is square, then you can actually skip that animation entirely, which saves us a lot of time. We're gonna hop by Philbo because he's a little slow. Run in here and get the journal just like we did last time.
Hey there. Like, I'm not. It says it also Oh.
All right, go through this tutorial experience with Beffica again.
Wait
Wish we could skip this, I really do. Especially since there's a lot of mashing.
See, you'll have.
All right, walk through here.
Let's get this over with, buddy.
All right, so that's the Garden Grove, just like we basically exactly the same as we did now earlier. So now what we're gonna do
Well,
is we're still gonna walk down to the fire pit with Filbo, interview Filbo. We still have to do that. We can't avoid that because we don't have access to any tools or anything. The reason why I choose to walk forward a little bit there instead of just turning and falling down right away is if you turn too fast and fall down right away, Filbo can actually get stuck on that fence a little bit. But if you walk forward, it ensures he'll make it all the way, and it doesn't waste any time because Filbo still has to move the same amount of distance. All right, so we're gonna do Filbo's interview really quick.
well, one day there was a bit I couldn't. Lisbon, nobody, you can once
All right,
you
and
should-
then
you could, anyway, I'll be all right.
now is where the run's gonna get real busted. So instead of getting everyone to return, we're gonna hop on this fence. We're going to hop over to this building with a very precise jump, hop onto the rooftops, jump across the rivers. And now we're going to hop on some rocks. Oop, oop. There we go. Now with some very, very careful parkouring there, we actually get into Sugar Pine Woods early. So for example, that skips two of the everything up till past the second party. So that's roughly, we roughly did about, I don't know, 25 to 30 minutes in 5 minutes of the run. Now we're gonna do another skip here. Oop, didn't make that one, that's fine. So we're going to get into Frosted Peak early. That skips 3 out of the 4 parties and everything up to where we have to get Shelda, Floofty, and Eggabell. So already skipping that. Now you think, oh, let's go talk to Eggabell, right? We don't need to talk to Eggabell either. We'll bypass Eggabell. We're gonna pull out our launch pad here, scale some rocks, jump across. We don't need door codes. We don't need any of that. We're gonna launch ourselves up this way. We're gonna throw our tripwire here and place it very precisely and clip through the door just like that. Voila, we're in the Undersnacks already. So about 1 hour into the no major skips run, it took about less than 6 minutes. So this game is busted. It's very, very busted. So one thing that's worth noting is, so like when we broke into when we broke into Woods early by skipping past the loading zone, it didn't give us anything new. It actually didn't progress the story whatsoever, in terms of like notable quests being achieved without us doing them in our journal, unlocking tools or anything like that. But once we crossed into Frosted Peak, the game gets really confused. It's like, okay, you shouldn't be at Frosted Peak unless you have literally all the tools. You've done all these quests, yada yada yada. So it gives us all the tools we need, and if we don't need to, but if we looked in our journal, it would also show that we've done like all of the quests that we would have supposed to have been done if we were playing the game normally. All right, now we are in the Undersnacks again. This is actually all the same, but with one notable exception, but it's not until the very end of the sequence.
What you think? Bugs, I almost lost myself, but somehow I pushed back.
So we're still mashing through the Lisbert stuff. But yeah, I explain all that, like why we have the tools and stuff, because you're probably wondering, like, well, how did we even get the lunch pad, the tripwire, everything we needed to get through the door fast? But it's because the game is confused and gave it to us in advance. But yeah, basically we use the collision of the tripwire facing a little bit towards the door, and we basically shove our character in the gap between the door and the tripwire, so it gets very confused and it just clips us directly through the door, and that's how we get through the door skip. All right, so one thing that's different here ever so slightly is that we're actually not only mashing the text skip button, we're actually going to mash square here, which actually enters into, while that cutscene is playing, it actually enters into a conversation with Eggabell at the same time. The reason why we can do that here is because we have not talked to Eggabell at all in the any% run, because we skip her entirely. So we go to talk to her, and it's like the first time we ever talked to her, so it's fine. The reason why we do that is because it actually triggers the loading zone like 2 to 3 seconds early for whatever reason. So we do that in any percent, but we can't do it in no major skips or anything like that because we've already talked to Eggabell and completed her dialogue. So if we try to do that again, the game will actually it'll actually crash, not soft lock, it'll crash. So that we can't, it'll just like crash and shut down, does not know what to do when you're trying to talk to a character you've already talked to in a cutscene that's playing at the same time. Gets all sorts of confused. All right, and then we're already in, look at that, we're already in the gauntlet, about 9 minutes into the run or so. A little less than 9 minutes into the run, and we just go through the gauntlet again. The gauntlet is done the exact same way. Like I said, basically once you're in the undersnacks, the runs are the same from that point forward. There's really not much different. But I do want to say thank you so much to everyone who donated. I always love showing off the tips and tricks rather that go into this any percent run, and they are really not hard to execute. So like I said, it's a very low barrier to entry. If you're someone who gets kind of intimidated by all of the tech that goes into a speed run, you can learn all these tricks with relative ease. So I highly suggest checking it out if it interests you at all. All right, same thing here. We're gonna punch some donuts. Just a normal sentence to say. All right, trigger that so that we can get that done early. Great. Okay, that was relatively quick. We can get that faster. If you aim it exactly at Shelda and Floofty, you can actually get them to swallow the Picantis whole, which is the absolute fastest. It's so precise to do that though. It's really, really difficult. So most of the time they'll eat like half, and then you have to squash the other half. So not much you could do there. Boop, boop. Same thing here. Like I said, this is the easiest of the gauntlet challenges to do because you really can't fail it. I will note as well, so in the 100% route of this game, because there's a lot of side quests that you get to learn about all of these characters' motivations and things like that. But because some of those side characters, their quests involve you having to feed them a ton of Bugsnax to the point where they actually would transform into a Bugsnax. Before at this point, it's actually not a problem. They just look kind of funny and all transformed with the various foods and stuff that you've given them. But if you complete their side quests and in full, and they're already fully transformed as you go into the gauntlet, which should be a problem because theoretically, if they ate another Bugsnax, they would succumb. The game has a way of making sure that you save them because you went through the effort of doing all their side quests. So once all their side quests are completed, you actually can't lose them. So in a 100% category, you can't lose any any of the Grumpuses. I was able to showcase that time. I was able to wedge myself into the environment, which saved us a little bit of time, which is great. Barrels again, you know, same kind of deal. This precise placement of the barrel so we can kill them all at once. Ooh, this might be too late. Okay, we got it. I was a little nervous about that one. Timing is very important here. If you actually shoot the barrel too early at these grape skeetos or sweetie flies, I can't remember what they are. They'll actually not be destroyed by the barrel itself. They'll be destroyed by the juice that's on the ground. Ooh, this is too late, I think. Yep. See, that's why it's very precise. So yeah, they'll be destroyed by the collision of the barrel onto the ground. Oh, this is too early too. Yep. So you can see just how precise that is. They'll be destroyed by the collision of the barrel itself, not what's inside the barrel. So it will actually make it so when the next wave of cheap hoofs comes out, the middle one will die as it spawns, which is a problem because then you have to time it out even more cautiously so that the end cheap hoofs are close enough to each other that you could shoot another barrel to kill them, but it also just takes longer anyway because you have to wait longer for that cycle to occur. But yeah, so you got to see a perfect barrel and a not so perfect barrel, so at least I got to show you both sides of the equation there. You're getting your full money's worth here at Supporting Autism Speed Event. Voila. Please hit it. Thank you. Please, please, please. All right, this has gone much better than it did the first time, so I'm happy about that at least. But barrels went poorly, so there's always some kind of give and take, you know, when it comes to these runs. One more wave. Great. All right, and last we got our special sauce.
Come on now! Get your varmints!
It's no use, Whammy. Must have learned.
But yeah, that's so that we can keep everything moving and stuff like that. Plus, we've already seen all this stuff. I'll start to do my end plugs now, so we can get them out of the way and get on with the rest of the marathon, checking out these awesome runs. But I just wanted to say thank you so much to the Supporting Autism Speed Event crew and everyone involved with organizing and getting this event up and running. Thank you so much for doing the work, and thank you so much for having me be a part of it. Like I said countless times throughout the run, this is such a great cause and so important. With how some people choose to perceive autistic people as you know, being in a disability of sorts, which is you know, not the case. You know, they want support, they don't need a cure, you know. So I really appreciate the people putting on this event, and thank you so much for doing so. Like I mentioned also countless times, if you want to run this game, it's very accessible. Come on by speedrun.com/Bugsnax. We got guides, we got resources for any of the categories that you might need. You can also join our Discord there, which is great. We're a very friendly bunch, and we're always willing to help out new people. So come on by. Yeah, again, we got trapped on the ramp there. Funny. We also have a subreddit, r/Bugsnax speedrunning. So if you want to like post your clips or have questions and you prefer using Reddit over, say, Discord or the speedrun.com forums or something like that, you're more than welcome to do so. Come on by there. And then if you love like fun speed runs, or occasionally we'll do some casual plays of some goofy games and stuff like that as well, feel free to come on by my channel, twitch.tv/ConceptionSR. I play a lot of Bugsnax, but I also play a lot of other fun games like Pokemon and some fun, you know, other goofy and cool speed runs. So come on by, check it out. And we're about to wrap up the 80% run here too. Also went pretty well, Not as close to world record as the no major skips run was, but
Hey, buddy. All right.
still really good.
I know. I can. Great.
Oh boy, there we go. All right, time is coming up.
Don't worry. You're fine. This awesome.
And time. All right, low 17. World record on that on console is 16:25. So still pretty close, within 30 seconds. You can't 40 seconds rather. Can't complain. But yeah, I already said my plugs. Come check me out. Come check out Bugsnax. Thank you so much for having me, and enjoy the rest of the event. I know I will.
Thanks again, Conception. Thank you for showing off this wonderful game. We're going to toss it in intermission while we get set up for the next run. We will be back shortly.